Dricus du Plessis remains unfazed by Sean Strickland's remarks following their press conference clash. The two middleweights have generated significant buzz leading up to their UFC 297 showdown on January 20, where they will vie for Strickland's UFC middleweight title. Dricus du Plessis and Sean Strickland were on the verge of physical confrontation during their initial face-to-face encounter, as the South African contender referenced Strickland's childhood trauma and made a commitment. "You think your dad beat the sack of you? Your dad doesn't have son in me. Every childhood memory you have is going to come back when I'm in there with you." 24 hours later, tensions escalated to new heights as Strickland leaped over a row of seats at the T-Mobile Arena, initiating a chaotic scene in an attempt to confront du Plessis during UFC 296. In a heartfelt interview on this past weekend with Theo, Strickland openly discussed the incident, sharing the emotional toll it took on him. Tearfully, the UFC champion recounted the traumatic abuse he endured as a child and criticized du Plessis for remarks he believed should have been considered off-limits. Du Plessis responded Friday in an interview with MMA On Point. "I didn't watch, and I don't think I will, watching a grown man cry in an interview. It's not really my watch material that I go and watch, but it is what it is. I'm glad he cried and he got it out. I hope that's the end of that." I think we give him a lot more credit than he deserves in terms of mindset. I don't think he thinks about anything. I think he goes out there and he fights the way Sean Strickland fights. He always has, and he's an incredible fighter. I have a lot of respect for him as a fighter. I think he's incredible. Do I think he's a hypocrite? 100%. 100%. Obviously, childhood trauma is something you can't help, but if you know what it feels like to be the one on the receiving end of such trauma, don't inflict it on others, because that's exactly what he does. So yes, I feel bad for him, and I don't think any kid deserves that, ever. Sean Strickland, aged 32, has been candid about the reported abuse he endured during his childhood. He shared his constant fear that his father might harm his mother, recounting an incident where he called the police after his father allegedly assaulted his mother while Strickland concealed himself under the bed in the same room. During his emotional discussion of past traumas with Strickland visibly moved, had to take several pauses to compose himself before resuming the interview. While the UFC middleweight champion hasn't hesitated to employ low blows when targeting fellow fighters in the past, du Plessis expressed no regret for providing Strickland with what he perceives as a dose of the American's own medicine. "If you go after other people, eventually they're going to come after you. And I think he's used to being the bully, and he's not used to being bullied. But I don't have to hammer on that. I already won that fight. I won that press conference. I don't want to keep on hammering on the same thing." Yes, he cried on Theo Von's podcast. I guess it was terrible. And like I said, no kid deserves that. No kid deserves to go through that. But if you want to dish it out, you better take it. And like I said, I have mad respect for him as a fighter, even as a person. He's always been a straight-up guy. Even the fact that he tried to fight me in the crowd, that was him being a man. What I'm saying is, if you want to dish it out, be able to take it, man, or you're just a hypocrite. You didn't deserve that as a kid, but as a grown man, you dish it out, you're going to get it. That is the way the world works, unfortunately. And like I said, with this mindset going to this fight, I think he's going to come out and fight the way Sean Strickland fights. My mindset, I don't care about him, I care about me, what I do, what I go out there to do, and that has become the world champion. Whether he's angry, whether he's not, does he have motivation? I see everybody talking about Sean Strickland having muscle now. Well, welcome to being a professional. I've had it my whole career. Nice, you have abs for the first time. I'm really happy for you. But that's what you should look like as a professional athlete. Good job. I'm really happy that I can motivate you get some abs, but it doesn't bother me. Good luck with those abs. I've been fighting with mine for years. Dricus du Plessis' comments during the initial press conference stirred controversy, occurring just a day after Colby Covington provoked Leon Edwards by disrespecting his deceased father leading up to UFC 296. The connection between the two incidents has prompted discussions about the boundaries of pre-fight trash talk. However, du Plessis disagrees with the notion that the situations are comparable. I don't agree with what Colby did. Talking about somebody's dead family, that is 100% stepping over a line, 100% set to unfold at the Scotiabank Arena in Toronto. UFC 297 features the main event, a 5-round championship clash between Strickland and du Plessis. As the tension escalates between Dricus du Plessis and Sean Strickland ahead of UFC 297, Their verbal exchanges and personal revelations have sparked a debate on the boundaries of pre-fight trash talk in MMA. The emotional impact on fighters and the line between promotion and personal boundaries are now under scrutiny. Should there be guidelines or a code of ethics for pre-fight banter in professional combat sports? Share your thoughts below and join the conversation on the intersection of personal history, mental well-being, and fight promotion.